Today, we're tackling a major topic that's stirring up global attention: Trump's plan to pull the U.S. out of Ukraine. What would this mean for Ukraine, the U.S., and the world? Whether you're following the latest political moves or just curious about the potential consequences, I've got all the key insights for you right here. Let's dive into what you need to know about this unfolding situation. In recent years, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia has dominated global headlines, especially since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. The U.S. has been a critical player, providing Ukraine with military and financial support to resist Russian aggression. But what if this changes? Former President Donald Trump, who is seeking another term in 2024, has hinted at a controversial plan: pulling the U.S. out of Ukraine. Trump's position could have far-reaching consequences. In this video, we'll explore what Trump's plan might look like, why he's considering such a move, and the potential global implications. Let's dive into what you need to know about Trump's approach to Ukraine and why it matters. Historical context: U.S. involvement in Ukraine. Before we discuss Trump's potential plan, it's essential to understand the U.S. role in Ukraine over the past decade. After Russia annexed Crimea in 2014, the U.S. became one of Ukraine's staunchest allies. Washington provided billions in military and economic aid, as well as diplomatic support to counter Russian aggression. Following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, U.S. assistance increased dramatically under the Biden administration. The U.S. has delivered advanced weaponry, such as AIM-ARS missile systems, and billions in financial assistance to Ukraine. This has been critical in helping Ukraine push back Russian forces and defend its sovereignty. Trump's foreign policy approach. Donald Trump's foreign policy has always been centered on his America First agenda, which prioritizes reducing U.S. involvement in global conflicts and shifting focus to domestic concerns. During his presidency, Trump often questioned the need for U.S. engagement in what he deemed endless wars abroad, advocating for the withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria. Trump's stance on NATO and European allies has also been contentious. He frequently criticized NATO members for not contributing enough to their defense and called for European countries to shoulder more of the financial burden. Trump's skepticism of multilateral military alliances and his relatively conciliatory stance toward Russia might explain why he would consider pulling the U.S. out of Ukraine. Trump's potential plan to withdraw the U.S. from Ukraine. If Trump were to pull the U.S. out of Ukraine, this would likely involve a significant reduction or complete halt in military aid, financial support, and diplomatic backing. Here's how such a plan could unfold. Cutting military aid. The U.S. has sent billions of dollars in weapons and military equipment to Ukraine. Under Trump's plan, this flow of arms would likely stop or be drastically reduced. Without U.S. weapons, Ukraine's ability to resist Russian advances could be severely diminished. Ending financial support. In addition to military aid, the U.S. has provided billions in financial assistance to help stabilize Ukraine's economy. A withdrawal of this support could lead to economic instability in Ukraine, making it harder for the country to sustain its war efforts. Diplomatic shift. Trump might also shift U.S. diplomatic policy toward Ukraine. While the Biden administration has rallied international support for Ukraine, Trump could push for negotiations with Russia and call for Ukraine to make concessions in exchange for peace. Trump's potential withdrawal from Ukraine would not happen overnight, but even a gradual reduction of support could dramatically change the course of the conflict. Impact on NATO and U.S.-European relations. One of the most significant consequences of a U.S. withdrawal from Ukraine would be the impact on NATO and U.S. relations with European allies. NATO has been instrumental in providing security guarantees to Ukraine's neighboring countries, and the U.S. plays a central role in this alliance. Strain on NATO. Trump has long been critical of NATO, and his decision to pull out of Ukraine could create divisions within the alliance. European NATO members, such as Germany, France, and the UK, have committed substantial resources to Ukraine's defense. If the U.S. withdraws, these countries may feel abandoned and could face increased pressure to ramp up their own support for Ukraine. Security concerns in Europe. A U.S. pullout could embolden Russia to pursue more aggressive actions, not just in Ukraine, but potentially against other Eastern European countries. Nations like Poland and the Baltic states, which are NATO members and geographically close to Russia, might feel particularly vulnerable. Diminished U.S. influence in Europe. U.S. withdrawal from Ukraine could weaken Washington's influence in European security affairs. While some European countries might seek to fill the void, it's unlikely they could fully match the level of support the U.S. has provided. Geopolitical ramifications, a new world order. A U.S. withdrawal from Ukraine could have profound global ramifications, altering the current world order and reshaping international power dynamics. Russia's strengthened position. Without U.S. intervention, Russia could gain the upper hand in Ukraine, allowing it to consolidate its territorial gains and potentially expand its influence further into Eastern Europe. This would signal a major geopolitical win for Moscow and a blow to the West's efforts to contain Russian aggression. China's reaction. China, which has maintained a neutral stance toward the Ukraine conflict, would likely view a U.S. withdrawal as an indication that the U.S. is retreating from global conflicts. Global power shift. Trump's potential decision to withdraw from Ukraine could signal a broader U.S. retreat from global leadership, which might encourage other powers like Russia and China to fill the void. The world could move toward a more multipolar order, where regional powers hold greater sway over international conflicts. Isolationists. Trump's America First base, particularly isolationist-leaning voters, may support a withdrawal. Many in this camp believe that the U.S. should focus on domestic issues and avoid getting entangled in foreign conflicts. Bipartisan opposition. However, there is bipartisan support for Ukraine in Congress, with many Republicans and Democrats seeing U.S. aid as crucial to containing Russian aggression. Prominent Republicans, such as Senator Mitch McConnell, have been vocal advocates for continued support for Ukraine. Trump's plan could face opposition from within his own party. Thanks for watching. If this topic sparked your interest, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on global events like this. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about Trump's potential plan and its impact. Stay tuned for more in-depth discussions, and until next time, take care.